Live better and longer with the Fitzness Show, hosted by fitness expert, author, and TV personality Fitz Kohler. She'll tell you why diets are dumb, supplements are snake oil, and the truth about how you can earn a lean, hard, pain-free, and athletic body. Now for our favorite bossy blonde, Fitz Kohler.
Well, hi, team. I'm Fitz Kohler, your super bossy fitness pro from fitzness.com, and welcome to the Fitzness Show. Today, we have a big time episode with a lady who's pretty big time on changing lives. Before we get there, if you haven't done so yet, don't forget to click like. Forget the like. Actually, just click subscribe and download for the Fitzness Show. Did you know that if you are in a deep, dark cave with no Wi-Fi or cell reception and you're alone and you're sad, if you have already clicked download on the Fitzness Show wherever you stream, I could be there keeping you company with my big mouth. And what could be more comfortable or comforting in a deep, dark cave than me? I was going to say yours truly, but me. Also, if you haven't gotten the book yet, what are you waiting for? It's You Supercharged, the exact formula for fitness, weight loss, and longevity. If you're ready to change your life, let me help. That's what I do. You can get your books everywhere, but if you come to fitzness.com, I sign them all. I include the little Fitzy sticker, which couldn't be more fun, and then I send them out with love, and you get a special little message on the outside of your package that'll make you smile. And I'm all about the smiles. Okie dokie. So this episode is one of my favorites. It's called SOAPBOX. So here's the deal. Many of the guests that I've historically brought on my show are elite athletes or coaches or in fitness in some regard. But fitness is all about doing better and being better. So sometimes I just clench on to these brilliant minds, right? People that are doing incredible things. And even if they're not specifically in the sports and fitness industry, I think, oh, we got to hear from them, right? They can help us achieve more. They can help us grow physically, mentally, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so I believe many of you have already heard the soapbox episodes. I've brought in a bunch of heavy hitters, but this woman is, gosh, she's so special. She invited me on her show maybe 6 months ago. It's called She Decides, and she was such a freaking delight to talk to. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm a guest on a lot of podcasts, a lot of TV shows. Not everyone is such a great host, but she really was. Not only was she a fantastic conversationalist and very inquisitive, but just sweet as can be. And then like a couple of weeks after I was on her show, she sent me this cute little water bottle and a hoodie. It's She Decides. I just thought that was very generous and kind. And so let me tell you about her. And then what she's going to do is she's going to come on with 10 things she thinks you should know. I haven't given her any direction. I just said, whatever's meaningful to you, whatever you think society at large would be better if they knew or pursued or followed her advice on, that's where she's going to go. She hasn't told me what they were. I don't want to know. I like to be surprised, but that's where we're going. Her name is Stephanie Swiderski. And not only is she the host of She Decides podcast, but she's also the founder and CEO of the She Decides collection, a modern demi-fine luxury jewelry brand. If you go find She Decides on Instagram, you're going to want some. And it's a little fancier than I am because I'm pretty scrappy, but I look at her stuff and I think if I could just have Staci come over and dress me, I would be better. And then I love this even more because she is supporting motherhood and all the cool things I do professionally. There's nothing in the world better than my role as mommy. And so she's the founder and CEO of Family Source Consultants, and nationally recognized surrogacy and egg donation agency with nearly 2 decades of impact. And for that, I say, wow. Staci Swiderski, welcome to the Fitzness Show.
Thank you so much. I am so happy to be here. And you showed the water bottle that we sent to you last year. I have your book. I should have brought it down. I'm gonna text them right now.
Which book?
The book, your book.
My new one, Supercharged?
Yes. I wanted to show it and I love it. It's so motivational. I'm not really I read books like in stages. Just because I'm always like, I don't find reading for myself like comforting because my mind's always going. But what I like to do, I'll take like 15 minutes and I'll just flip through a chapter. I'll start like out maybe in the 5th chapter and then go to the 1st, depending on what type of book it is. Your book, oh my gosh, it's just so motivating.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I ordered it, and I mean, I've had it for a while now. I love it. So thank
Well,
you.
that makes me, of course, thank you very much. And yeah, I appreciate that so much. Okay, so what do you want people to know right off the bat? Forget about your 10 things. What did I miss in your bio? What should people know about you?
Oh goodness. I would, I'll get a little raw with you. I think the energy to just never give up who you are, no matter where you started in life. I was never a person who just had anything handed to me. I had my first child when I was very young, late teens,
Wow.
and yes, late teens, and I've been on my own since then, and it's just it's such a sense of motivation, and I never looked back, and I think that, and this is part of my 10 things too, so it's kind of rolling into that, but I just I think that, you got to remove any excuses from your life and go after your dreams and not give up. And so I think at the end of the day, that is something that it's just my true voice. And I really believe in that. And so no matter who you are, where you're at, I think just always, believe in yourself. And so that's what I've always done. It's worked out so far.
Yeah, so I'm very similar. I've not had anything handed to me. I mean, I've had to scrap for every
Yeah.
opportunity, every dollar I've ever made. Sometimes I wish. I'm never envious, but sometimes I wish, gosh, I wish it could be easier. But then I also kind of like the scrappy situation that got me where I am. What do you think? Do you wish it had been easier, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure at the times I probably, I'm going through some when I was going through some pretty rough times in my life, financially or whatever it may have been, I'm sure you're thinking, oh man, like I wish it could have been different at the time. Now, not at all. I think that is literally what has motivated me to be the scrappy person that I am. I think scrappiness has, it's worked out well for me, and I'm glad now looking back, but yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
if you can have everything just kinda catered to you, that'd be a lovely thing, right? But, you know, on the other side of it, it's really, it's benefited me, so
Yeah, for sure. It's funny with my kids, I love to help. I love to help them. I love to be a resource. And, I've also pulled back. They're 21 and 23. So I know I have no control. So I don't even try to be in control. And sometimes they flat out reject the help. But I also do enjoy when things get difficult for them because I know that's scaling them up. It's hardening them and making them more prepared for the next much bigger challenge. But
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so I'm really excited about your 10 things. Let's go. Lay number 1 on us.
Cool. Okay, I'm just I pulled these together, they're kinda in my mind here, but I do have I probably have a lot more time than 10, but I'm going to try to keep it pretty straightforward. So, I would say, like I said, my first comment was, like, I feel that negativity really is and just constant complaining. It's not a I don't like it, right? So if I find myself doing that, I literally will stop it in my head and I'll think to myself, all right, Stacy, there are a million people out there that are having a more difficult day than you are. So I don't like it. I don't want to be around people like that. So I just own it. I changed my behavior and that's just what I do. So I know it's kind of cheesy, but that's one of my top tens. It's just kind of remove the negativity, anything that you are capable of doing, do that. 'Cause you are responsible for that.
1,000%. Yeah, I don't want to toxify myself with that misery. Even when something's really bad going on, I talk myself out of feeling sad about it. But then when people come around me and some people are like that. They always want to talk
Yes.
about the injury or that time I
Yeah.
had COVID I move on, lighten up.
Yes, that's just yeah, it just is like, like a Debbie Downer. It's like, "Wah, wah, wah," so and it's just unmotivating, so I don't like it. So that's probably my first.
I love it. I love it. We should get one of those little gadgets that makes a womp womp
Yeah, right.
sound.
Yeah, like
Or
one
little
of those big horns around, somebody starts just blow it in the air.
tiny violin, just whatever
Yeah,
it is to
yeah. Yeah, cry to your river.
Okay, that's everybody, lighten up. Number 2, let's go.
Okay, number 2, laziness. That is something I don't have a whole lot of patience for either. I think laziness in life, it can cost you so much, mentally, emotionally, physically. So I'm not saying and I'm not just referring to you have to get to the gym every day for 2 hours. It's just your mindset even. You can be lazy in your mindset and your action. So number 2 is laziness. I'm not a fan of that. So I really start each day with some high energy, even if it's thinking, and that to me, it's been very helpful. Very helpful.
So what's your advice for lazy people? How do they make change?
Oh my gosh. I would say just first and foremost, get outside. Get outside, take a walk. I think taking a walk, especially even if it's a cloudy day, like here in Chicago today, it's a cloudy day, but when you get outside, walk your dogs. If you don't have a dog, take yourself for a walk. I don't care if you walk to the mailbox and back. Just something about the air will, instantly it makes your mind think differently and you're up and you're moving. So yeah. And also maybe getting ready in the morning rather than, especially now in the remote world, it's easy to kind of look sloppy all day. But if you get up, get ready, you don't have to walk around in a business suit all day, but just at least look cute, try to throw
Yes.
stuff. It's a mental thing. And so I think, and not that you don't have to be lazy to do that, but you know what I mean? Like, I just think when you can move around, it's good for your mind and your spirit, your body, everything.
Absolutely. I think good morning routine especially triggers productivity. I have a friend of
Yeah.
mine who she's got some issues, so she spends a lot of time in bed, but she met a hunky man
Oh,
who
that'll
said he was
help.
going to call her soon. And so she goes, Fitz, I've been getting up and putting on makeup. She said, and, now that I'm dressed up, I have a cute dress on and makeup. Now I'm cleaning the house, I'm going more places and I'm doing more things. It's just that simple act of
Yeah.
getting up and dressing up in a way that made her feel pretty changed
Yeah.
her home and her activities. It's just such a big deal.
Yeah, I think just, really disciplining yourself to do that. Try to stick to a routine if you can. And yeah, it makes you feel better throughout the day. Even run into the grocery store, you're gonna feel a little bit better, you know. But yeah.
That's right. What we what can we tell the men to do? Like put on some sexy jeans and boots and get going.
Right, right. Maybe exercise is always nice. Get up and
That's
move it
right.
for men.
Mm.
Get to the gym.
Trim your beard, spike your hair, all of that goes a long way.
Yes, yes, maintain.
Okay, number 3.
Okay, number 3 for me would be definitely, and I say this every day from others, is excuses. I just don't have a whole lot of tolerance for excuses. So accountability is key, and yeah, and sometimes it's just say I messed up or whatever, but just excuses. I think that's something that really is you got to own it, and yeah, that's my third
Ok
one.
okay, so you're doing excuses. There's twofold. So for me, excuses are always people get themselves out of doing good things by making excuses, but you're talking about trying to get themselves out or not holding accountability for maybe rotten things they've done.
I think both. I think all, in general, I think excuses for ownership and excuses for why you're not doing something that like you had mentioned, get out of something that you should be doing. Or maybe it could be something as light as I have to make an excuse why I don't want to go to X, Y, and Z. That goes back to just being honest. No is I can't. I have other obligations and you're good.
Right, right. I can't, I won't.
It can become a habit when you're constantly making excuses for stuff or your busyness or just because you flat out don't want to do something. Either way, I think excuses are probably the fastest way to remain stuck in something, in a rut, a
Absolutely.
pattern.
Yeah, personal accountability gets you up, gets you moving. And then also, if you have done something wrong, I mean, isn't it the $1,000,000 skill to just say, I'm sorry, I will
I
do
screwed
better?
up. Yes, I will do better. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to either hurt your feelings or whatever it may be, but I'm owning it. And I think
Yeah,
it makes me feel better. And I think it makes the other person also trust you a little bit more.
absolutely. I think it's an interesting phenomenon where some people just get mad at you and they're going to be mad. I've I get a little bit about it in my family that I was birthed from. And I just say, don't I deserve the benefit of the doubt? If I have done something that has irritated you, let me know. Don't sit
We are all human.
angrily. Yeah, don't just be randomly hostile with me. Tell me you did blank and it made me sad or mad or whatever. And then I will either say, well, I did it because of this and I stand by that, or whoopsie daisy, I didn't mean it and I won't do it again, right? Excuses aren't.
Sometimes you don't even know what you've done, and if somebody brings it to you, own it rather than come
Yes.
up with an excuse, right?
Right. So far, I love your list is ownership, 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 ownership.
And I think too, because, running 2 businesses every day, these are things I literally you live by, because you want to be the best leader that you can be, right? You want to be successful. You want to, just be a good person. People are watching you. And so you have to own it. It's just so important, and it's okay to be vulnerable too, no matter who you are.
Yeah, vulnerable or wrong. It's just okay to be wrong sometimes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm probably wrong all the time. Let me know.
Yeah.
Let me know.
All right. Next on your list.
Okay, what are we at? 4 or 5? I would say the next on my list is kindness. Be a kind person. That to me, again, all of these, I don't have a priority from 1 to 10, but being a good, kind person to me it's so important to be a good human. So just, yeah, don't be rude. I don't care. Don't be rude to a waitress. Don't be rude to, just don't be rude. You can be mad, but you don't have to be rude.
So, how do you handle kindness or lack of kindness with your businesses? Because you go in a few different directions, and I can imagine you face a jerk on occasion.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you just have to be real with them and treat them always with respect. And it comes back to honesty. I think they deserve to be shared how you're feeling and maybe what they're doing. But no, there's times I may have to be a little more blunt than others, but I'll never be rotten or mean. I'll be
Are,
honest.
are people rotten or mean to you?
Oh, yeah. I think just in general, people are like, even people that don't know you, right, are that way. And so something you just kind of have to, you have to let it roll off your shoulders and kind of like, oh, I feel sorry for them. They must be having a bad day.
Right. So, which side of your business? So, there's a side where people are trying to do this life altering thing or to become a parent, right?
Yeah.
With egg donation and surrogacy, which I can imagine is very stressful and so forth. And then there's people buying jewelry. So, which side do you get more crankiness from?
Oh, goodness. That's such a great question because it would rock your world to think what some people get cranky about when they really shouldn't be. And on both ends, right? So
Yeah.
we've had clients, intended parents who have had a really, for the most part, a beautiful, smooth journey, right? A wonderful relationship with their surrogate. And maybe they will complain about things that I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this is like this is, this is the easy part, and maybe it's
Trivial.
even, yes, it's very trivial where we've had, intended parents who have just been through the ringer and they've had losses and, rematches and they are the ones who have just really remain positive and just super respectful. And then you have the jewelry line, right? Where people
Right.
are, for the most part, everybody's just happy because they love to, they love to get their jewelry and they're excited for it and it makes them feel, positive and pretty. But yeah, I think it just comes down to people, like, it kinda goes back to, like, complaining. A lot of people, it's just, like, it's inherited in them where they just don't even realize they're doing it. So I think the
Yeah.
way you react to that is really important. And, especially when you are running a business because you have to listen, but you have to still kind of control that conversation because 'cause you're the expert, right? And so a lot of times they're reaching out to you for guidance, even though you think they're complaining, they really just psychologically need you to do your job and be the expert in that situation.
I love that. I love that. So
Yeah,
it's interesting as you're talking. My mother was scrappy and she was fight, fight, fight for everything. If you don't get what you want, demand it. And so as
that's
a
right.
teenager, I had that kind of method of operation. That's who I was. And then when I left for college, I quickly learned that I would catch more bees with honey. And so it was light switch that went off. And I thought, wow, if I could be kindness and give people a higher expectation to live up to, then I would be more likely to get the thing I wanted. And that
Yeah.
really goes a long way. I mean, the person shouting at the waitress or I'm being a full blown Karen, they're not going to ever get what they want, right? You're never going to get what you want.
No, you're not. You're not. You and I sound very, very similar because in my earlier years, I was like that too. I was so scrappy and I was like, oh, the first one to, tell somebody off or whatever. And as I've matured, I've realized like, yeah, you realize I guess have a little patience and again, maturity to where, yeah, you almost feel sorry for the person on the other side. So sometimes it's like, what, kill them with kindness, like your mother said, right?
No, she
No,
didn't.
she
She
said
said
the
fight to the
opposite.
death.
She said, "Fight." Yeah, she was like, "Don't film with kindness. Kick their ass and let them know who the boss is."
That's right. So funny. She still kind of has that MO, but I go, okay, mom.
That's
All
okay.
right. All
Yeah,
right.
let her own it. Hey, I listen, there's days I'm still pretty scrappy, where I do have to, be a little more firm than others. But at the end of the day, when I say, just don't be rude, I'm talking like just in general. Don't be rude to the waitress. Don't be rude to the checkout, when you're the person working at the cash register. Don't be rude to, just think about it, and you never
Yeah.
know what somebody's going through. So I always try to keep that in the back of my mind.
Yeah. You know what helps me when I see whether it's a young waiter or waitress, I put my kids in their position. I think, oh, what if that were Ginger or Parker? Or if it's an older
Yeah.
person, I transpose an uncle or I try to replace that person with someone I deeply care about. And then my patience goes through the roof. It's pretty impressive. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is. Yeah, it's like you just kind of gotta.
Yeah. Yep. Someone loves that person. That person's probably nice to somebody. So, and we will be right back. My brand new book, You Supercharge, the exact formula for fitness, weight loss, and longevity, is out right now and has something for everybody. Ladies, chapter Full Throttle Femininity is dedicated to all the things you think you can't control, including menopause, weight loss, maintaining muscle mass, building bone density, and earning yourself a JJ of steel. Guys, chapter Man Mode was written just for you. You'll learn how to combat menopause, tune up your ticker, banish a beer belly for good, maximize your muscles, and earn the most powerful pecker on the planet. From the ground on up, from the inside and out, let's supercharge your body and mind and make you unstoppable. Order signed copies of You Supercharged at fitzness.com in the United States, Amazon, everywhere else. We're back.
That's
Okay,
right.
next on your list.
The next on my list, I would say definitely, and this is really old school, but it has helped me tremendously in my personal and my professional life, is being in the right rooms and with the right people. So it's kind of like, the old saying is, who you hang out with is who you'll become. And I really feel that the right room will change your life. And that is just as simple as it's said, is just surround yourself by those people who you maybe admire or want to be like, who, whatever it is. If you are a fitness person, you're probably going to go to the gym and see people who are, who you really can resonate with and who maybe you aspire to, get a sense of that motivation, or if it's, business or whatever it may be. I think it's, yeah, surround yourself around those ones that you really look up to, maybe. And I think that definitely is motivating.
I agree wholeheartedly. So let's talk business. You
Yeah.
seem to be quite successful. How have you gotten into particular rooms? So you live in Chicago,
I live in
big,
Chicago.
big business city. There's a lot of opportunity there. There's a lot of money, a lot of events. Like what's an example of maybe an event or an opportunity you wanted and you had to slither your way in?
Yeah, absolutely. I will go way back to when I started my company almost 20 years ago, and now it's one of the leading surrogacy and egg donor agencies in the world. I knew nobody, so we're going back to I was scrappy. I was, you gotta have balls, right? I mean, you gotta
Right.
just get out there and do things. And I was knocking on fertility center doors and trying to really get in there so they knew who we were, who I was, and I was just very consistent. So you literally just have to show up. Show up. If you can get in there, show up, and then, and no matter what, you may be a little intimidated by somebody. If I'm at a conference and there's somebody there that maybe has a celebrity status, at the end of the day, they are no better than you. Maybe they have more money or maybe they have more fame, but they are human. And that is what I always think too to myself. I think, they do the same thing that we're doing. They get up, they take their showers, and everybody has issues in life or problems and they're not perfect. So I wish that you just kind of keep that in your mind too. So when you have an opportunity and you're in those rooms, you really have to take it. You have to walk up to that person, introduce yourself, have some confidence. And I also think at the end of the day, let people talk because people like to talk about themselves. And so if you are a good listener, that they'll gravitate towards you a little bit better too.
Yeah, they will like you if you just listen to them, right?
Just listen to them. People, yeah, a lot of people like to talk about themselves.
Absolutely. I talk to university students every semester at UF, a lot at UF, and I always tell them if people don't know you exist, they cannot hire you.
That's
And I
right.
repeat, they cannot hire you if they do not know you exist. So even if you're an introvert and you like to be at home, you have to get up, you have to go out, you have to introduce yourself, and then you have to tell them what you want. I would like to work for you. I would like to intern here. I would like to volunteer. I would like to be your slave person. I don't, whatever it is.
Get in the
Um,
door. That's right. Don't be afraid
yeah,
of rejection. Rejection, I mean, how many successful people in this world have gone through so much rejection
yeah.
to reach that success? You have to put yourself out there.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. When I was young, I got a lot of no's. I get so fewer no's now. I get a lot of yeses now. Has that flipped for you as well?
Absolutely, and I think because over the years you've built, the confidence and also the credentials, right? The credibility where people now they're wanting to be in your space, and that's a really
Right.
nice place to be, right? Where they're feeling maybe they can learn from you or you are motivating them in one way or another. So, but yeah, that definitely has flipped.
Yeah, it's nice. Yay.
Yeah. Yay.
Yay.
Yay for being in the right room.
That's right. Right. Okay. So what's next on your list?
The next would definitely be for me what has really helped and has changed my life is delegating. You have to delegate, especially in business. For many, many years, I just thought I could do it all and I had to control everything. And that that doesn't work out too well. You will hit a wall and you're going to see, it's going to stunt your growth. So definitely delegating. And when you do delegate, it almost becomes like an addiction to like, oh my goodness, what more can somebody do? Or who can I bring on? Because when you can see it with your own two eyes that somebody does something better than you, that
Yeah.
works for you, it's like an aha moment, and not only is it freeing my schedule, but it's also allowing me to see what they really are capable of doing, and so it makes me so proud to have people on my team who are just so amazing. So, yeah, definitely that was delegation was something I did not feel I needed to do, early on in my business, and now it's like, "Oh my gosh, I wanna be back in that room where everybody is really better than I am because it's gonna
Yeah.
motivate me, right? And I wanna learn from them." So, yeah, I would say
Absolutely.
delegation for me is key.
How many people are on your team?
Oh, goodness, I have about 30, almost about 30 staff members,
Wow.
yeah, and if I combine both businesses, it's about 36.
That's incredible. And does that make you so proud? Because you're employing Americans. That's such a big deal.
Oh, it makes me so proud. It makes me so proud, and, that is something I've said this so many times to the amazing women who I've had on my podcast that, my success that I've had in life and it's not a financial, like, "Oh my goodness, look at me," or whatever. I love being able to do for others, and, when I see any of my staff that are, maybe they're buying a home or, their children are in college or they're going out on date night, whatever it is. I'm happy to know that, like, I give them a space in their life where they spend so much time, their profession that can help, raise their family or whatever it may be. And but yeah, to employ people, to me, that's such a I do not take that lightly, and it is so motivating for me, and that's that's like the American dream, right? When you can live that, and I love it.
Yeah, it's interesting how many people vilify the CEO, and I think, golly, the CEOs are the ones creating opportunities from the vice president to the janitor. Everyone has an opportunity because this person has taken a chance, taken the risk, taken on all the responsibility. And yeah, I just so
Yeah, I
admire what you've created.
well, thank you so much. And that is something, right, having a small business, we're a large agency, what we do in the space, but a small business. And I don't have to offer, say, for example, small businesses don't have to offer the benefits and all of that. And that's something I'm so proud to do, for my team. And they have great insurance. They have a great PTO package, and we give them their birthday month, a day off of their birthday for in addition. We just want to celebrate them, and we want people to have all the benefits that we don't have to offer because we are a smaller company, but we do. And again, that just comes it just really makes me feel proud, and and I know they appreciate it and I appreciate them. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, you don't seem like a villain at all.
I,
This is what I'm
I try
getting right
not to
now.
be. Yes, I try not to be, that's for sure. Yes, we have to come to work, we have to work hard, we have to, but it's a win-win, and it's a wonderful trade-off because I have the best team.
That's awesome. That's so great. So great. Okay. Next on your list.
The next, we're just kind of rolling into it. I would say success in life is not earned in a way that it's earned, but it's not earned where it is something that's it's not an overnight success. So that's something for me. I think now with social media out there, but you see these influencers, and it's like, oh, overnight you can be this major successful person, or it's just so easy. Success is not earned in that. Success is earned in a way where you have got to put in the work. You have to work your ass off. You have to. It's not an overnight thing, and so it's just built with consistency. And so everything that I'm sharing with you today, I feel that it all leads into success. So that to me is super important because people will give up too quickly or too early because they think they can gain success in whatever they're doing. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's your personal life and I don't know, say you want to lose 30 pounds. It is consistency. You have to work at that, right? A
Yeah.
business, you have to work at that. So success is something that it's not an immediate thing. You have to earn it over time.
Yeah.
Consistency.
So someone, I'm not going to say who, but yesterday said, I'm going to start a podcast. And I encouraged that person. I said, you should. It would be awesome. But the reality is, everybody thinks they could start a podcast, and most fail within 5 episodes. Within
That's right.
5 episodes, they're done. Do you know that most books on Amazon, most authors have sold less than 5 books? I'm going to publish a book. I'm going to use AI. I'm going to self publish it. I'm going to design my own cover, whatever they're doing. Less than 5 books sold. And so, success really does come to those who
You are so
bust their
right.
ass and stay the course and, don't give up at 5 episodes.
No, you can't. That's right, because you never know. And I think it comes down to as long as if you're doing it for the right reasons where you really enjoy it. So don't just say, I'm gonna start a podcast about watering my grass. If it's something you're not passionate about,
Right.
you're gonna give up because you don't enjoy it. Yeah, we just reached our 1 year anniversary in January on our podcast. And it's just something that there's days you're just thinking, oh my gosh, I have to do this recording and I got so much to do, but I'll tell you, like, as soon as I hit play, I love the other side of it. I'm so motivated after every one of my podcasts that I'm so glad that I did that this week. And because sometimes, I'll be honest with you, I'm thinking, oh, I hope they cancel because I have I hope they can reschedule. I don't want to say cancel because I want them on our podcast, but I'm like, I hope they reschedule because I had 85 things fall into my plate between the time that they scheduled until it happened. And then I've done the podcast and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that was amazing. I'm so glad I've got to meet that person. And they have just now shared so much good to help other people. So, but yeah, you have to earn your success, and you have to be patient. Yeah. People give up too quick. And I think your statistics are you're so spot on. People just, after like that's like you said, everybody's like, oh, I want to do a podcast. It's so much fun. Well, it's work. It's work.
Right, right. How many episodes have you recorded? Is it weekly?
It's weekly. Yes, it is weekly. So, that was something too where I did take a pause because of my second business that I started, but I still have quite a few unreleased podcasts that I have to do. So we've replayed a few of them that were also super inspired. Actually, yours was one that we actually relaunched again because it was so inspiring. We got so much feedback on that, your
Yeah.
motivation and your positivity. And so we've handpicked a few that we really wanted to spit off again. But yeah, I do them weekly and I don't really have a season. I just every week they're dropped.
Yeah, I'm a little willy-nilly about it, so I do it at least every week. Sometimes I do 5 a week, it just
Yeah.
depends what's going on, or if I have a voice, sometimes I come off a announcing a marathon weekend, and I just don't have the capacity to make noise for a chunk of
Yeah.
time, so
It's hard, yeah, and, when you record them, sometimes it's at one point, I was doing just Monday and Wednesday was my recording day, so I would block it for that. But then there would be somebody who I really, really wanted, and it just the timing didn't work out, so I would I would free up my schedule to so it gets a little tricky, but and then my son plays baseball in college, so I try to get to all of his
wow.
games. So it's just, it's been a lot of juggling, but yeah, I get it. It's like life happens, right? Life happens.
Life
But the thing
happens,
is,
life
you don't give up, and you didn't give up, and you continue doing it, right?
That's right, and thank goodness for podcast flexibility. It's not like radio where you gotta be on every day from 1 to 3. They just tune in, hit play whenever it works for them,
That's
and
right.
works
Everything's
for
fine.
me.
That's right. That's right. Whatever,
Al
whatever.
alright, next on your list.
All right. The next one on my list definitely is it has probably nothing to do with business. I guess we could kind of throw it in there, but is being kind to animals. I am a huge advocate for animals. I love animals. If I could purchase 100 acres and just have all these animals on there and make sure that they were taken care of. So that is a big one to me. If somebody is not kind to an animal, I don't even want them near me. Like I have no respect for somebody like that. So yeah, that's like again, this was an easy one to pull out, but this is something that every day I have animals. I love my animals. I love people being kind to animals, but the minute I recognize that that's not everybody, I don't know.
I'm
You gotta
with
be
you.
that's
I am
huge to me. I could never like, if I was single, I would never date somebody who didn't like dogs or something like that. It would be
right.
a turn off. I don't care who they are. I don't care if it was
Mhm.
Channing Tatum.
Whew.
But he is a dog lover, so
That's right. That's right.
that's
That's right.
it.
W
Yeah.
Tell us about your pets.
Oh my goodness. I have a husky. He is a little over a year now, and he is awesome. We rescued him when he was about
S
3 months old, and his name is Kobe. He's amazing. We had a Chihuahua that we had to put down last month. We rescued her as
sorry.
well, but we've had her. Thank you. We've had her for gosh, almost 16 years. So yeah, she was probably about 3 when we rescued her, but she had a beautiful life, and her name was Coco, and then I have 3 cats, Ellie, Gracie, and
Oh,
Cooper. Yeah, so, yeah. How about you?
so,
Do you have
uh,
any?
well, I do. I have 2 dogs, and so Piper, my best friend, my fitzness vice president, she passed away in December. She was almost
Oh,
17, and yeah, that about broke me, but I love her so much. But we have Joey, who's 5. He's a Maltese mix, and
Joey, I love
then
that.
yeah, and I
So
actually
cute.
I haven't told anybody publicly yet, but we adopted another dog. We found a stray, and Levi is his name, and he's a wonderful part of our family, and he's learning quick, and he's just as sweet as they come. So, yeah, they make every second of my days better. And I used to have a disabled duck. I mean, I'm just a sucker for
Oh,
whatever needs me. I say, okay, come, I'll take
you
care
know,
of you.
wonder why this is why we connected, right? We
Mm-hmm.
both love the animals. Yeah, after I shared that about, be kind to animals, I'm thinking, "Oh my goodness, I hope Fitz likes animals."
Oh, yes, she does. So, question: does your husky howl?
Oh, yes, yes. It's funny because this first husky we've ever owned, because we've always had dogs, and people would ask that, and we're like, "No, no," when he was a puppy. Well, I guess they have to learn their voice. And so by month, I would say 6, 7, oh my gosh, that's all he does. He talks to
Ugh,
us, he howls. Yeah, he thinks he's a human. Um,
it's so fun. I don't
yeah,
think it's very polite to have a husky in Florida because of the heat, but I love
yeah.
them. And every time I get on a plane, which is frequently, I think it's, I don't know, I'd probably board a plane 200 times every year. And I sit down in my chair and I look on either Instagram or TikTok, and the hashtag is Huskies being dramatic. And it just makes me
Oh,
giggle and it
they're so
relaxes
funny.
me.
They're so funny. They are so
So
dramatic.
funny.
And they are so stubborn, but in a cute way. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I told my husband, "I don't know if I could ever not get to have a husky now."
Aw.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
And we will be right back.
Are you looking for the perfect gift for a loved one battling cancer? The Cancer Comeback Series by Fitz Kohler offers hope, inspiration, and practical guidance. With Your Healthy Cancer Comeback, My Noisy Cancer Comeback, and The Healthy Cancer Comeback Journal. These books are a lifeline for all patients and survivors. Right now, you can order autographed copies at a special discount. Show your support and help a loved one go from sick to strong. Visit fitzness.com today. That's FITZNESS.com. Fitzness.com.
We're back. Okay, so what's next on your list?
The next on my list is definitely and this is let me say partially, one of the main reasons why I started my podcast that led over to starting the jewelry line. And that is to lift one another up rather than being in a place of constant comparison and jealousy. There's room for all of us, really in this
Yeah.
space. And, obviously the name of my podcast, She Decides, and then my jewelry is She Decides collection. It really stemmed from that, was to rather than just constant competition and, putting women down, let's lift each other up, right? Let's be each other's cheerleaders. So that is something that see it all the time. I mean, the whole Mean Girls, right? You see it all. There's nothing wrong with being competitive. I'm a very competitive person,
I
but yeah, I want to win. I want to be a little bit above you and ahead of you, but I want you to do well too. And I would never knock you down for my benefit. And so, yeah,
Yeah, I get mean girled on the regular, and it's fascinating to me. I just feel like, for the love of God, can't we all win? Can't we just be nice and you do your thing and I'll do mine, and
I bet you
lighten
do. I
up?
bet you. I mean, because you are in the public all the time, so I'm sure you're seeing a lot of that. And yeah, but you're so beautiful and smart, and you see right through it all, right? You're like, oh,
Mm,
again, it goes back to, well, sucks to be you because I would cheer you
yeah.
on.
Well, and yeah, I'm gonna throw in my bit is kill 'em with kindness. I mean, I get
Yeah,
so many of these really horrendous people that have treated me horribly. I just show up with a smile and tell them how great they are at their job, and
that's right.
uh, not every time, but 99% of the time, I still give the smile and the hug, and
And
whatever
it's all you
you
can
can.
do. You can only control what
Yes,
you can control, right? You can't control how they're gonna react and what they're gonna act like. So, yeah, and you would think as, mature adults, myself I'm in my 50s, you would think that women would change, but they don't.
no,
Nope,
no,
they don't. It doesn't matter. And, a lot of people would ask me, when I started She Decides, is it just women empowerment? Am I just empowering women? And is it a man haters club? Absolutely not. I love men. My husband's like amazing. I mean,
yeah,
we need men in our world. I'm thankful for men in our life.
yeah,
So it's not that at all. It's more women against women. Like let's like cheer each other on, like rather than just pound each other down. So yeah, and motivate and I think today with so much online and social media, people live behind these screens and they just feel less than when they see maybe this beautiful person out there that, is,
right.
and maybe all filtered up or whatever. And at the end of the day, we're all human, so let's be kind to each other and support one another. And, and I will say in the business world, because I've been in many rooms, in many situations where it is just the population is all men and you see maybe 2 or 3 women, right?
Mhm.
And it may be a little intimidating for women to be in those rooms. And there are times that men, I mean, we have a long way to go here where men literally do rule the business space. So if women could be kinder and more supportive of one another, maybe you'll see more women in those rooms, right? And support one another. So, yeah.
A 1,000%. It's one of this, and I worship men as well and women. Anyway, I'm a meritologist. I don't give
Yes,
a shit what's between your legs. I don't care what
I don't
color
know
you
what
are. I
you
don't care who you
do.
sleep
Yes,
with, where you pray. F that. Stop using that
same.
dumb stuff as an excuse for your
Yes,
failure. You be awesome. You be nice. You be on time. Do those things, and I will adore you. But
that's
yeah,
right.
it's interesting. I've definitely had men be mean too. Golly, I'm sure everybody has. I don't want to.
Oh,
I don't wanna sound
yeah.
like I'm a victim. I'm certainly not. But I've got it from both sides. But I do think just the hostility. I certainly have had more hostility from women than from men. So yeah, I don't think there's some sort of inequality thing. I just think we have some a-holes roaming around.
I agree with you. I think that, yeah, I think, it's become, again, very catty and I'm sure it always has been catty, but I don't know. I just think it's just a crazy world that we live in. And if we can just be responsible for being our best selves every day, if we can
Yeah.
put in that little bit, maybe other people will follow that trend, you know?
Yep.
I
Yep.
and when I do think about it in a business sense, like even today, like as the owner of my company, I'm always, if I send an email or if I give instruction, I'm always like, please and thank you. And I just do that out of kindness, out of respect.
Right.
But if I didn't do that, I can imagine people like, oh God, she's being a bitch today. What's her problem? Men walk around
Thanks.
all the time and they're very forward. They're very blunt, right? And I'm not saying you have to be please, thank you all the time, but that's just who I am. But
Yeah.
yeah, but it is so different, if you do look at the sexes that way,
I
you know?
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's inequality. I just think it's different. We're different. The way we
That's right.
connect or communicate, the way we receive things are different.
Great.
Yeah, I had an intern a recent semester where I told him to. We had a conversation, then he was like, "Well, I don't like the way you said that to me," and I said, "Well, I'm sorry. It's the truth. It's an instruction." And he said, "Well, I don't like that." He said, I'm your boss. If you would like to graduate, do the thing I told you. I mean, it was a simple project, but
Right, right,
yeah, he
yeah.
pushed back. I was like, I'm not being a bitch. I said, do XYZ. That was very interesting. So,
But if you were a man, I bet that wouldn't even have been caught. I bet
I'm,
it would have just not even been thought of. So
yeah,
that's
I,
the difference. Yeah.
yeah, he would have said, aye, aye, Captain. I actually think it's a great benefit to me sometimes when I'm dealing with customer service and they see my name is Fitz. I am confident 100% of the time the person on the other end of the line thinks I'm a guy and they're responding because a guy told them to do XYZ. And I do think it works for me. So,
Yeah.
hooray, I'll take the wins where I can get them, right?
You're gonna roll with it.
So funny. So funny. Okay. Okay. What's on your list?
Okay, my last I believe this is probably our last one, would be and this is so, again, very cheesy, but it's benefited me in all walks of life, is just to be thankful. I think
Hmm.
thankfulness is keeps you grounded, it keeps you focused, and moving forward in the right direction. Just be thankful. And that, at the end of the day, it's thankful for whatever it is going on in your life. You have a great day at work, be thankful. You wake up and you can walk, be thankful. And to
Yeah.
me, that probably is my center point of my everyday. Like if I'm having a shitty day and I'm like, oh my God, what else can go wrong? I will check myself and I will say, you know what? I am so thankful that I have the ability to even work remote, because I remember back in the day when I was a single mom with 3 kids,
Oh,
I had to
my.
drop them off at daycare. I was the first one to, drop them off, and it opened at 6:00 AM, drive an hour to the factory that I worked at, work with all these grouchy men. I had to clock in. I hated my job. I did it for almost 10 years. I was in steel-toe boots, safety glasses. It was horrible, and I think to myself and I'm over here bitching because I'm thinking to myself, I'm bitching because I have to do X, Y, and Z. I mean, my God, we can do a podcast and be naked from waist down. I mean, we don't even have to
Yes.
get all out ready anymore, So at the end of the day, I'm always just thankful. So when I catch myself getting in this rant, I'm like, shut the hell up, Stacy. Like, be thankful. And so that literally is something that's that's just my life. I'm thankful, I'm grateful, and no matter where you're at in life, you're gonna have shitty things that happen. That's just life. It's gonna, it's gonna roll your way one way or another. You're gonna have to, have adversity, but you have to be thankful for the good things. There's always somebody that's worse off. So I know it's kind of cheesy and it's probably pretty boring, but it's something that life is too quick. Too quick.
I don't think cheesy. I don't think boring. I think probably one of the most powerful things people can do throughout their day, their week, their year, their life is have that inner voice say, shut the hell up. Stop
Mhm.
complaining. Be grateful. That's ding, ding, ding.
Yeah,
That's the star of the show. That was awesome.
absolutely. You have to, because otherwise life will get away from you really quick. And before you know it, you kind of have just an avalanche of negativity, happening you have no control over. And you're thinking, oh shit, I was mad before. Now I'm really upset. So now I have to really find something to be thankful about. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's my
well.
empowerment is being thankful.
So, thank you for bringing your soapbox list. I love it. I think it's
Okay.
going to compel many people to do better and be better. I am absolutely fascinated by your surrogacy and egg donation business. So tell us a little bit about that because that's a life changer for so many.
Yeah, that's definitely, it started out, I opened the doors in 2007, so many years ago. We'll be celebrating 20 years coming up here in January 8th. Started out as going through the family building process myself. My husband and I, we have a son through surrogacy who's now in college. And I found myself every day helping people, and getting help from others. And so that motivated me to literally say, this is something I want to do. And at the time, surrogacy laws in the United States are different for every state. And Illinois has some of the best surrogacy laws. And so there were limited resources on agencies. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to leave my real estate career and I'm going to start this agency. And so glad I did. And, almost 20 years later, we have more than 1,500 babies that have been born through our
Wow.
agency, yeah, worldwide. And it's just it's incredible on so many levels, that we are helping obviously others build their family who otherwise couldn't have without the help of a surrogate or an egg donor, sometimes both. And like I said, flip side of that, the business side is that I'm able to employ people and help them as well. And yeah, it's been very, very rewarding. I love what I do. Is it challenging? Absolutely. It's very challenging, but it's far more rewarding than anything. So
What a
yeah.
blessing. What a blessing.
Thank
And the
you.
gift of not only good people, but science. You
Oh,
combine that with brilliant business. Again, there's nothing I've done that's more important or impressive or exciting or, fulfilling than being a mom. So the fact that
that's
you've
right.
given that opportunity to so many is incredible.
Yeah, when you can help somebody become a parent, there's so many times, obviously, more than not, that our first connection with these people, they're not in the best place, so they're not super happy, and even if they're trying to be, and man, by the time when their baby's born and they're holding their child, they're thinking, oh my god, their life has just flipped upside down, and now they're a mom or a dad, and it's very rewarding, and yeah, I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to do that. And then, like you had mentioned the science. I mean, doing this for 20 years now, just seeing the success rates, how they have just climbed over the years and the opportunities. It's amazing. And being in those rooms myself with these super intelligent, physicians or, people that, embryologists in the lab or whoever it may be. I mean, it's just amazing how smart people are, and I'm just in
Right.
awe, like, oh my gosh, and being around them and learning from them. It's been amazing. So I'm very blessed and very thankful to be able to have this opportunity and that I went and I followed my passion and I did not give up because it could have been really easy to give up in the beginning. But yeah. So back to
Yeah,
what you had said earlier too. Yeah. Don't give up.
yeah, giving up is really easy, right? One of the
It's
easiest
the
things to
easiest thing
do.
to do. You're like, oh, I tried it. I'm giving up. Nah, yeah. That's what I was saying
Yeah.
with the whole success. You have to earn it. So you got to show up every day.
Yeah, the word try is kind of like boring. Stop
It's
telling me you
so
tried.
boring.
Just
Yeah.
do it. Just
Just do
do it.
it.
Figure it
Do
out.
it. Yeah.
Okay,
And if you fail, that's okay. That's okay. And
that's
that's good. You're going to fail more than you are going to succeed in life. So put yourself out there.
okay. So I always end up my show with 2 questions, and I didn't give you warning what they were.
Oh
So
no.
yeah, simple, but there you can handle them. Number 1 is a communication tip of the show, and so it could be stop saying the word like all the time when you're not expressing affection, or don't talk with food in your mouth, or whatever. Communication tip, connecting with other people. What say you?
Definitely. I would say that I have 2 quick tips. One is to be a really good listener because communication is not all about talking. Now, of course, with a podcast, you have to talk, but I'm
Right.
talking in a general room. Be a good listener. But on a podcast or when you are public speaking, it's okay to pause rather than saying just when you feel yourself, in a like I don't know what to say yet, next or pause for a minute. It's okay because nobody's really going to notice the pause. So yeah, I would say be a good listener and pause.
Brilliant. And then a final question of the show. Well, not the final. We're almost there. We want to tell people what song they should add to their playlist for a workout and what workout should they do to this song.
Oh my goodness, I have so many genres that I love. I mean, even hard rock to country. But my number one that always comes back to me, and it's probably not a workout song, but it's an uplifting song, and I love it because my granddaughter Willow loves it, and we rock out to it all the time. It's "Party in the USA" by Miley Cyrus.
I love Miley. And of course,
I
I
mean, I'm
love the
going,
USA.
yes, yes, same, right, right. So, when I love the US, and it's such a motivating song. So yeah, that right now would be my go-to.
Okay, what
Very
exercise
uplifting.
should they do to that song?
Oh, goodness. All of them. I would say definitely that would be more of probably a cardio because it's, like, pumping you up a little bit. It's like
Okay.
yeah, I would say, and they're talking about dancing a little bit, moving your hips like this. So, yeah, I would say more of like a cardio type. Maybe a little aerobics if you like to do aerobics. Do people still do aerobics? I mean, there used to be jazzercise,
You know what?
but
You, you know what? I have an online training group. It's called the Hottie Body Fitzness Challenge on Facebook. But I asked people, you could do one exercise and only one for the rest of your life. So many people said jazzercise and aerobics. I didn't even know jazzercise was still happening.
yeah.
Apparently, it is alive and well.
It is, yeah, get up and move around. I mean, I go through I used to love weightlifting when I was back in the day. It felt really good,
So,
and then
yeah.
I think a good combination of both is very healthy, right? Get up and move, whatever it is, move. I don't care if you're gonna go garden all day. You're gonna feel it in your hamstrings later, bending over
That-
like that. One way or another,
that's right.
get up and move.
Do something, Miley Cyrus, Party in the USA.
Yeah.
And then how can people find you?
They can find me in so many ways. I'm all over social media, just Staci Swiderski. My website, FamilySourceConsultants.com is my agency. She Decides Collection is my jewelry line, my new jewelry line. But I'm accessible. I'm a little bit of everywhere. So I would love to hear from you.
And I will link you in the show notes, folks, if you want to
Awesome.
find Staci. Just go to the blurb. Go to the blurb. I've loved having you on my show. Thank you so much for making the effort to make your list and get up bright and early. So pretty for me.
Well, I appreciate you making the time for me. Thank you.
Of course. Okay. And the final task of the show is you have to look into the camera and with gusto tell everybody, get to work.
Get to work.
Love you, everybody. Bye.
Get up.
Hi, this is Rudy Novotny, the voice of America's Marathons. We all love how much running has benefited every aspect of our lives, so much so that most of us only wish we'd started sooner. Wouldn't it be wonderful to give the opportunity to children of today? Well, you can. The Morning Mile is a before-school walking and running program that gives children the chance to start each day in an active way while enjoying fun, music, and friends. That's every child, every day.
It's also supported by a wonderful system of rewards, which keeps students highly motivated and frequently congratulated. Created by our favorite fitness expert, Fitz Kohler, morning milers across the country have run over 2 million miles and are having greater success with academics, behavior, and sports because of it. The Morning Mile is free to the child, free to the school, and is inexpensively funded by businesses or generous individuals. Help more kids get moving in the morning by visiting morningmile.com. Champion the program at your favorite school or find out more about sponsorship opportunities. That's morningmile.com. Long may you run.